here we go. I hit record. Now let's try screen share. I've already had this thing crash once today. There. Okay, let me know when you can see that screen.
I can see the screen.
All right, well, here we go. Here's how to maximize performance in the class. Well, hi, Nicole. So here's how to maximize that performance. Do a little bit more. Okay? For example, if the requirement says for one identifier of something and you can do a little bit more, then you'll be sure to cover it. Not only are you covering it, but you're learning more. And that's the whole point, right? Because you guys, both of these classes, I think the average age is well above 25, I think, or close. Really, really mature students with good job experience already. So you're developing topics. You're developing your capabilities. And that's what this degree is all about. So develop the topic, as you can see here. Do it richly. And engage your colleagues. Ask them some questions that are going to make them think about some things as well. All right? Okay. So an outstanding discussion or assignment or case study will all have these types of things. It will have analysis, evaluation, and then possibly synthesizing something new. Okay? So that helps it be a star performer. Analysis, evaluation, synthesis, linking information to goals and behaviors. Now here's something. One of the things that we will discuss in the class is people bringing their own devices into work, right? Bring your own device. Well, a lot of people are touting that. Companies that like it because they are not having to spend that money to buy that equipment for you. But they're in a worse hole because they have to make sure whatever the people that bring something in does not bring in viruses, does not contaminate, does not allow proprietary information to escape. For example, and just about 3 weeks ago, one student commented that his company had all bring your own device, and lo and behold, he quit. And he was like one of the senior guys in the company. And he said, what do I do? And I said, well, what's ethical? And he said, well, it's on my computer. And I said, what's ethical? And what's ethical is I advised him that it would be a better idea to purge any company information on his machine, but not everybody is going to do that, are they? And can you trust everybody to do that? So think about that when your company starts discussing bring your own device in shadow IT. Real bad on security risks. Might be cheaper, but there's a lot of problems. And then here's some assistance with you. When you're working on your final presentation, some students say, well, you know, I'm not really good with putting my face on the screen. Okay, that's perfectly okay. You could use maybe one of the, not the screen capture, but a capture of some of those animated things. If you look, I sent an email out and it had like Powtoons and then some other and they're really, really nice things to use. And you can put audio in there and you capture that and then save that capture out somewhere. And see, Screencast will capture those. So you can use one to capture the other and put it out in a link somewhere. Because here's what happens. If you save a 20 megabyte file, an audio video file, then you have to take 15 or 20 minutes to upload it or more. And I have to take 15 or 20 minutes to download it. And then we have a 5 or 6 minute presentation that now took over an hour. if you save it and put it up to YouTube or somewhere else that will give you a link, then post the link into the course, and I go out to the link. And that way and they'll usually upload pretty quickly to those places. And then it's a lot easier to replay those. And so here are some of those tools. This Prezi, that's really neat, or Prezi, like presentations, because it has this animated dialogues that come up. You'll have to take a look at it and go see, but it's really neat. And then these Powtoons, those are like cartoons for presentations. And then Screencast-O-Matic, this will record these. And then you can post the link out to this site, or post the document out to this site and then submit the link. So it's kind of neat. It's a lot easier that way. And there are some helps here. So you build your presentation, and remember this, please. You have to have audio, because you'll see I will upload a thing that says this is the rubric for grading, and you have to take command. How can a student take command of a presentation without having any audio? You have to have something that indicates you've taken command. Does that make sense, Shyla?
Yes.
Okay. Nicole, you do not have to have your audio muted. You're welcome to join the conversation here. So if you want, you can go out to this site, and I'm sure, and I will put some more of these out in either announcements or email, to where you can go out and take a look at some of them. And if you've been looking at your feedback for the week, those are links that I pasted out to Screencast-O-Matic. And so that's how they're, and the first week's feedback was mostly just audio, and there's this stationary questions, right? Well, next week I'll actually list the questions, and then you'll see the text for the responses as well as my comments. So that will expand next week and throughout the rest of the course. Okay? So do that. And if anybody is not able to receive feedback, please look for feedback. I mean, I had an instructor I went through a whole program where instructors gave me feedback every week, and I never looked at it. Never. And at the end of the course, I needed that feedback for the next course, and I had to learn it all again. It was a very an unhealthy learning experience. So go out and look at the feedback, okay? All right. That's on how to maximize your performance, and a little bit here on your presentation. Everybody always gets excited about their presentation, and it's good to be excited about it. You'll notice that your presentation topic is due by, and I think it's by Tuesday, which would have been like yesterday. So get that topic in, get it approved. Most of the time, topics that are disapproved because they're just too big. You only have like a 5 or 6 and maybe a 7-minute presentation. You cannot deliver an entire book. And there, a lot of the things that people start with are just so huge, too much to do. So I try to ask them to focus. So focus, and I had one student write to me and say, I really do not know what to do. Well, here's what you do. What is interesting to you? What has happened at work? What would you like to see happen at work? What would you like to see implemented at work? What would you like to see implemented? And you go, well, wait a minute, I'm not working right now. Okay. Are you familiar with a website? Are you familiar with a business? Most people are familiar with some kind of a business. Could that business do things better? How could they do it better? And then you talk about what is that particular process, or what is that particular aspect of their business. And that can be your little presentation. You learn not only about that technology implementation, but you learn how to present it. And that's why only on the required DQ on the week's one single required DQ, that's the one that says due by, usually due by Saturday, that one you can practice using one of those presentation programs down here if you want. I recommend this one. That's the one that I like to use. This one is a lot of fun, and students really like to use these. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can use any one of these for that one DQ if you want. And that's because students that do not do that, about 3/4 of the way through week 6, I get a frantic email and it says, I don't know how to do that. And I'm going, golly gee, you've had 5 weeks to learn how to do that. So at least try it once. Go stumble through the program, have a ball. You're not going to break anything by using one of these, and see how it does. And then when you use it for the discussion question, you'll have the opportunity to see what it's going to take to upload a link, rather than trying to sit there and spend 20 minutes uploading all those megabytes of video. And some students will call in and they go, well, I wrote the thing and I got it to work, but I do not know how to upload it. Well, golly gee, you have had 5 weeks. Please take one of those weeks and practice. At least give it a shot. That's the whole reason that I make that available. You do not have to use it. You can use text all the way through all of your discussions, but I really do not like to see somebody suffer in that last week when they go, and then they throw their hands up in the air, stomp their feet, and they get all red in the face and go, I just know how I did it. Really, just try it, okay? Okay, any questions on that?
No, that was great.
Okay, all right, I'm going to turn that one off and bring up another display here. So we're going to lose something, and then hopefully everything will hang around. I've already had this thing crash because I have live sessions that's run at 7, 8, 9 with different courses. So this is our final one. Hopefully this one will hang in here. Stay there. Hang with me. If I go away, I will be back. Okay. All right, so let's come back for the other screen share. Here's one. I thought this one was interesting. One of the things that we're talking about, or we will talk about, and some of you have already picked the topics of ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning and Processing. 98%. This was December 2015. 98% of large companies are using that. That means you will probably encounter it. And even small to medium-sized companies are using that. If you look in the discussion threads, it did share, I hope, right?
Yes.
Okay. Even if you look in the discussion threads, some of the colleagues in the class are commenting that they are using ERP software right now. And so why do we want to use this software? Here's the deal. Look at this. It does all of those wonderful things. Centralized communication, command, and control. It's used for retail, financial, databases. CRM is customer resource management, business intelligence, all of these. So what it means is that, and we will also talk about artificial intelligences, right? It helps provide a decision support system. That's in the discussions this week, or at least last week. I think that was just graded. Decision support systems. We're still talking about that. And that is what enterprise software does. It makes the business smarter. And it makes it easier. And one of the questions in the week's discussion, I said, well, does a DSS have to have a computer? No, but it sure makes it easier if you do. But guess what? When you have technology, what's the number one issue with technology? Usability. If it does not do what it is supposed to do, people will not use it. If they cannot figure out how to use it, people will not use it. And if there's a really, really steep learning curve, people will not use it unless you cram it down their throats, and then they'll stop using it as soon as they can. So you have to make whatever you implement technology swallowable by the people that need to use it. And that means different technological levels of expertise can accept different levels of technological challenge, right? Okay. So here's this breakdown on enterprise software. 45% currently use it. Considering adding more, another 25%. Not really using it, only 10. And no plans, 25. So if you add these, you get about 31. You add these and you get almost 75% positive. And they're doing that. It is increasing, particularly, and they're saying 1,000 or more employees, and I'm saying less than that. They're going to use it. So why do they use it? Now, somebody is already doing a project on HR and enterprise resource planning, or ERP software. Somebody else, I think, is working on one for databases. Somebody else is working on one for analysis. So look, here's how they fit. What are they using ERP for? Somebody, and a couple of the students in the class are working on HR. They're having their HR degree. Here we go, if we can see that. 34%. They're going to use it. You will use it. Okay? And then, as in any other type of software, you will have preferred vendors. Preferred vendors are those people that people like to buy from. People like to buy from Microsoft. Why? Because they have a good reputation. Google, Adobe, and SAP, S-A-P, is another preferred vendor that are not listed here. And here you go, vendors. They're losing ground, but they're still significant. Okay? All right. So where is it going? Enterprise software is and will thrive. And if you think here, look at this, solid vendor base, high levels of satisfaction. When I first started studying ERP software, it was probably, oh golly, 15 or so years ago. People did not want to use it. And you know why they did not want to use it? Because people were very, very reluctant to accept responsibility. You've seen the bags in a grocery store. This bag was made by whoever. It's not a number. My son, they have the person's name on there. A lot of the first releases of the ERP software allowed a person in the shipping department literally to make a change in the process that affected everybody else in the whole facility. And they did not want to put their name on it. And so as a result, that enterprise software just went, forget it. I do not want to be accountable. But now people have become more used to it. They're willing to accept accountability. And as you can see, ERP use is drastically growing, and it will continue to grow. You will use ERP software. Okay, that was it. Whoa, okay, screen sharing has stopped. All right, we're open. Are there any questions that anybody has on any of the course material? We have about 5 more minutes if you would like. Questions on course material or anything else?
Dr. D, I had a question about the book because apparently I have the wrong edition.
Yes, you do. You have like edition 11.
Yes, 11E.
Yes, ma'am. And as a result, what you submitted, if you can get a hold of edition 12, I'll hold off and wait, and you go ahead and submit that thing when you get the right book, okay?
Can I resubmit like that? I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. If you will do that, send an email to me when you get that book, and I'll either go back and correct it or re-edit the thing out so that you can. And
The other question I had was with my DQ questions, I actually resubmitted the correct ones when I noticed the questions were wrong. So I have them completed on the due date before the due date. Is it possible you could look those up and regrade them based on my second submission?
yes, ma'am. If you'll send those to me in email, because once things are in and they've been graded, sometimes I can reopen the grade book and allow a resubmission, and sometimes I cannot.
Okay.
If you
Third
send it to
question.
me in an email, it says, hey, I caught this, and I'll go, hey, okay, and we'll go with that, all right?
Perfect. Third question.
Yes, ma'am.
With the book, it was a $200 book that I bought in the summer, and I'm wondering if you could possibly give me the questions so that I can look them up in my book because they're almost identical.
Oh, I did that for the first week. I think I posted the questions in there.
Yes.
Because, okay, and other than that, that's copyright stuff.
Okay.
$200. Oh, my stars. That
Yeah.
was it. Did you buy it from the Baker bookstore? If you did and they sold you the wrong book, then we can discuss that with the bookstore.
No,
I can discuss
bought
it
it.
with the dean.
I bought it during the summer, so I just didn't realize that they were going to switch the book from summer to winter.
Okay. Well, that's, yeah. Golly, I'm sorry for that.
Okay.
Okay. Nicole, did you have a question?
Nope, I'm good.
Well, you're both good. We knew that. All right. This will occur every week at this time. Now, look, you have the week, right? So bring questions forward. If there's something you want to talk about that we're discussing in the class, we can do that too.
Okay.
If you're interested in another topic, let me know that, because here's what I intend to discuss next week. Ready? Sit down, duck. The internet speed testing and applications. Load testing tools. This will be real time. We will look at some testing tools. We'll test the Baker website.
Oh, goody.
I mean, not a whole lot, but a little bit, okay?
Excellent.
That's what that will be about. That's next week. Internet speed testing and load testing tools. Okay, that's it. And I really appreciate you coming, and it's as good. So thank you. And
Great.
I'm going to turn my video on and wave. Okay?
Thanks.
I'll see everybody next week. And if you enjoyed it, you felt it was worthwhile, good. Let your colleagues know. We'll get more people in here. I think we can handle a lot more than we have here. Okay? Bye-bye.
Excellent.
Mr. Doriak?
Yes.
The only question I had was on the paper that is due tonight. Can we use, say we're doing Toyota, because I'm doing Toyota. Can we use their actual website? I know it's not a...
Sure, absolutely. If you're doing research and report on a company, whatever you can get a hold of, legally, legitimately, all right? But remember this, that one company, this analysis report that you're doing, you will follow through that company the next 6 weeks.
Yep.
The same company.
Yep.
Okay? And be careful. Some students go, well, it asked the same question. No, it did not ask the same question. Each week, those questions will require different answers. You use the same company, but you make sure you answer the proper week's questions. Okay?
Okay.
All righty. That's it
Thank
then. Okay. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you and good night.